Happy Tuesday, everyone. My name is Sung Park. These are my credentials, and here's my weekly update for AddPicto. I'm just going to share my screen. Great. So today's date is September 6th, 2022, and here's my update for the infographics feature. So I want to talk about data accuracy and visual balance. Previously, what was happening was that a lot of the materials icon, which is the default icons that you're seeing here, the way that it's constructed, it's essentially uses two different sizes as a default, either 24 by 24 or 48 by 48. Some of the other things that we notice is that, and this is like the actual code of the SVG, as you can see here, is that for this particular icon, which is like this couch, it had this 24 by 24 path that was hidden. So essentially, it was the fill was none. So it was physically there, but it was not visible. And so when we actually try to do the fill on this thing, it would start in one of these corners, the XY coordinates of 0, 0. But as you can see, there's this extra spacing. And so when you try to do a fill, with a low number like 0.1 or 0.01, you would not see that fill. Additionally, there's a second version which did not have a hidden path. But in this case, you can see here, the icon has a width and height of 48 by 48, which is, again, this box. But the actual icon itself, which is this path, is actually 44 by 21. But because it was using the viewbox, or the width and height, 48 by 48 as a starting point, whenever we try to do a fill, which you can see here as this like orange bar, it was essentially starting from the very edge and not actually showing. So that was something that we wanted to fix, because if we're going to say that our tool allows for infographics, then data accuracy is extremely important. So we've since fixed that. So one of the items that we had problems with was this particular icon here. As you can see, I'm going to actually kind of delete all of this stuff and reset this so we can see just one. Here we go. So this is the default. Now, when you enter in 0.1, you can see that there's a sliver here. I could change the direction, and now we have accuracy. In fact, you could even enter in 0.01, and I don't know if you can see that, but there's this tiny, tiny, tiny sliver. In fact, let me go over here and insert it so that you can actually see it after I blow it up or increase it in size. Yeah, there it is. See that little blue sliver there? That is 0.01 of the total height of this icon. So hooray, we fixed that. But then the problem became about visual balance. And let me explain what that means. So I'm going to do 3, 3, and 3. So now you've got a grid of 3 by 3. I'm going to insert that. All right, here we go. And I'm going to resize this to fit into these squares. Okay, so what's happening is that because we got rid of all of the space in order to have data accuracy, we also ended up removing this extra padding. And not only the extra padding, but it being centered in this view box. Because we removed all of the padding, what ends up happening is that when we are rendering the icons or the infographics, we're also rendering it from 0, 0 with 0 padding. So I'm just going to copy this and paste this, and I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to change the icon to, let's say, this house. And with this selected, I'm going to say insert, which is going to then replace this infographics. So then I should then have a 3 by 3 of houses. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is that everything shifted. And then once we put this back in here, again, it's starting at 0, 0. You can see that visually, it doesn't look right. In fact, I'm going to select these boxes and get rid of them. You can see visually that it doesn't look right. And that's because of the placement of these things. So if I were to actually like, oops, I'm going to select, oh, come on. Oh, I think I know why. It's because I deleted it. Okay, here we go. So if I then select these icons here, and I kind of manually centered it, and then I also then moved this and manually centered it. So even though the sizing looks off, because they are two different sizing, physical size of the icons. Now, if I were to select these and again delete them, you can kind of see that it visually looks better. And that's mainly because of the positioning of it. And also when you align these things, and if they are, center-centered, it looks more visually accurate in the placement. So that's now what we're working on is essentially, ironically, in order to solve for the accuracy, we have to remove the extra spacing. But in order to get visual balance, we now have to add the spaces back in. So that's what we are going to be working on next. And after that, we're going to be working on what we are calling data layers, which hopefully we can work on this week as well. That's it for the update. Enjoy the rest of your week. And yeah, and give AddPicto a try if you can. Have a good one.